Hey guys, welcome back to another Origins TCG video. Today I'm starting a special series I'm going to call Origins of Origins. So what this is I'll basically be doing a little 1v1 with an Origins employee or Koin Games member. So today we've got the one and only Fenchurch, who's one of the community members. Fenchurch, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you very much.
Good,
Excited
good.
to have a chat.
Yeah, thanks for joining. So I kind of wanted to start before we hop into a game, um, wondering how you feel about where you rank in the Coin Games members in Origins. Do you think you're one of the better ones, or I know you guys have done tournaments online.
Oh, like in terms of game skill, I thought
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
just meaning like as a person.
No, no, sorry. Yeah, I probably could have worded it better, but no, game skill. Yeah, where do you feel like you
Game
rank?
skill. So like definitely the designers they've got the upper hand. They're like focusing on building the cards, the
Mm-hmm.
mechanics, and all that kind of stuff. And we've had a few internal tournaments, and designers tend to win those.
Okay.
Um, but I do feel like I'm fairly high up.
Mm-hmm.
I've come I've come like second and third, I think, or is it third and fourth in a couple of tournaments that we've done. So I'm a very competitive person. So like I always will try, whether it's a community for fun tournament, which I probably shouldn't try as hard in, or if it's an internal tournament. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty up there for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely played you, and I felt like you were one of the better ones, but I haven't had a chance to play any designers, I don't think. So it'll be interesting if I can get one of them on. But yeah, Apex kind of said the same type of thing, that they were some of the better ones, which makes sense. If they know their way around a TCG game enough to design one, they're probably pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So with this demo and all the decks that it gives you, unfortunately we can't build our own quite yet. But which decks do you kind of like work using?
Well, we had that kind of unofficial tournament that Bolt ran the other day,
Hmm.
and I played Legion, and I played that one because I just feel it's a bit more consistent than the other decks. Like with a lot of the other decks, like Milan or Merlin, you kind of really have to pull off like certain combos, or you have to delay until the end of the match to get your big spells out. But I feel like Legion is just pretty solid and consistent, and I find that I win more matches using that deck than the other ones.
Okay.
So I would say within the scope of the demo, that's my favorite deck.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty, yeah, consistent. I would agree. And it's nice having, like, there's not a lot of the decks on here that have some sort of like win condition. There's, one has snipe, one maybe has like an expensive trample and banner snatch, but you got like two tramples, which is cool. Yeah, it does a bit of everything. Gotcha. Nice. So what kind of was, when you started, your like original role with Coin Games? Because I kind of see you as one of the community members, but I know you guys end up having to do more stuff. So I guess when you answered the whatever job post, what was the initial idea?
Yeah, so my coin kind of like origin story, I guess you'd call it,
Hmm.
is like okay, I have to set the scene here. Like it wasn't really a traditional interview kind of style,
Hmm.
job application kind of style thing. So like back in 2021, um, I was in the Coin community in the Discord, and Tim had kind of like hyped me up with an AMA about building a game studio. And like at some point in the AMA, he said he was looking for writers, and I had been doing game reviews for about 10 or so years at that point. And so I got chatting to him in DMs, and that kind of went back and forth for a few days. And then eventually he said he wanted to do a call so that we could kind of like talk properly. He was very casual about it, but in my head I was kind of like, right, this is going to be a job interview because that's what we were talking about.
Hmm.
So that's what I prepped for, and it was a job interview, but it was like a very casual one.
Hmm.
Um, Tim's great at talking, so I think he did most of the talking, honestly. um, but yeah, I don't. It's funny looking back at those days because I don't really do that much writing now, honestly. Like bits here and there, but my role has changed a lot since
Hmm.
I first joined the team, and I've never been part of like a startup company before,
Hmm.
and like as we were growing and like building the game, there was just so much opportunity to get stuck in and do things all the time. So like
Hmm.
there wasn't really departments as such in those early days. Everyone kind of just did what they could, and so that's
Yeah.
what I also did. So
Okay. Nice. So where do you feel your job description has landed? What would you call yourself now?
that is also that's a
Still
hard
kind of,
question to
yeah, okay.
answer. Like on the Coin website, I'm listed under operations, but I think that's because I do so many different things.
Hmm.
I still don't really fit into any one department.
Gotcha.
And so, like, I kind of like that honestly as well. Like,
Yeah.
it gives variety to your workday, and also you learn a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I can reel off some of the things I do if that's of interest.
No, I mean, I guess I know a couple things. Like, obviously, you and Apex, I would say, are the main community guys. And then I'd really like to get into your role as kind of the character research guy, because that's a decent amount of what you do, right?
Yeah, that's it's like on a normal week that's like 50% of what I do, and then sometimes it can be all I do, depending on how like much of a push we are looking for characters.
Uh-huh. So how did that start, and like, how have you figured out your process for doing character research? I know you're a big gamer, so we'll get into that more of that later. Is that kind of part of what comes in? You kind of have a background in some lore of a bunch of characters, so you're like, I could look people up, or how did that go?
Um, I mean, I guess it was kind of in those early days, like I was saying, people were just kind of getting stuck in everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
we'd made the decision as a company to use public domain characters. And back then, I'd been doing a lot of research, in like market research and like research on competitors, card games, that kind of thing. And so this was kind of like another research aspect. So I decided slash was given the task of taking this on,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of developed over time in terms of my actual like style of doing it. Um, but yeah, it's mainly like, but it's mainly for the artists. We obviously don't want to fall into any legal trouble. So the character research, first of all, is to find public domain characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I give the artists a background on those characters by like researching the stories, and then also there's a legal aspect to it to make sure there's no trademarks or reasons that we can't legally like use a character.
Okay.
And there's like like one character could take if it's really complicated legally, it could take like 4 hours just to do one character. So
Oh well.
it is quite an extensive process.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So I know you said the other day in Discord that you have like about 1,200 characters that you've done so far. So are those all future characters you hope to add to the game, or some will probably get cut, or?
Yeah, so the way it kind of works is I've got like a master list, and I do my research, and I jot or like I'll find like a story like Wizard of Oz, for example. That's public domain. I find all the characters that are also public domain within that story, list them all down with like an absolute basic kind of description. The Then at some point the design team or like Tim, someone like that is going to go through that list and pick out a bunch of characters they like, and then that's when it kind of gets pushed into further research, and that's when I start looking at like trademarks and
Mm-hmm.
further backstories. So
Okay.
yeah, there's like a 1,200 list of characters that have. It's basically just a list,
Mm-hmm.
and then into like the further kind of more complicated research stuff, maybe like 400 of those so far.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice. So which characters have you kind of enjoyed looking into the most, or maybe a character that you didn't know about too much, but you looked into and thought that was like a really cool character, and you'd maybe like recommend people looking into their story?
So for characters that I enjoy, I kind of enjoy the more kind of classic tales. So like Dracula is definitely one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of like a great character that people might not know. There's a cool one coming called Six Gun Gorilla, which is from like
Hmm.
a really old, I think it was American comic that I think it was like the 40s or something, but they forgot to renew or they just didn't renew the trademarks, the copyright on it, so
Hmm.
it fell into public domain. Um, Obviously, we're kind of putting our own spin on all these characters, so like I might really enjoy Dracula, but Dracula is not going to be the same Dracula in our game as it is in like the classic stories. So
Mm-hmm.
there is there is going to be a change to a lot of these
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. I was just say because sometimes their abilities are quite a bit different than maybe what you'd imagine to be. Is coming up with the abilities part of your job while like researching, or do you just help with that with the background you get from researching?
I think occasionally, like I definitely don't come up with the abilities, but
Mm-hmm.
occasionally, like the design team will ask, like, we want to put this ability into the game. Is there any character that fits that ability? Um, like an easy example of that would be like a healer. They want somebody who can heal
Mm.
um, like another character. So then I would go into all the kind of stories that I've researched and find if there's any healer characters, like doctors or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you got like a little hand in that when they ask you specifically, but it's mostly them coming up with yeah, their things that they want, and then you find a character that fits. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I alluded to it a little bit, but you got quite the big game collection I've seen on Steam. You're like up to almost 1,700 games or something. Does that sound right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a game reviewer for 11 years, so
Okay.
um, like 50% of my library in Steam was probably free,
Oh
and
wow.
also I have not played like 50% of
Oh
it. So
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, it's like I have a lot of games, but I've not necessarily
You
played
actually
them
put
all.
too much time
But
in.
yeah,
Okay. So what type of genre do you find yourself gravitating towards mostly?
um, RPGs have been a pretty big thing throughout my gaming life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like from the very start, I would say, like a, um, you know, but like my gaming origin story, if you'd say it was when I was like maybe 5 or something, my dad bought me like an original black and white Game Boy and a copy of Space Invaders because that's what he played when he was a kid at the
Mm-hmm.
arcades.
Hmm.
And so that's what kind of started my obsession with gaming. But like from there, it's always been kind of like RPGs. Like I really liked. Would you call Pokemon an RPG? Actually, I'm not sure if that fits as
I'm
an
I wouldn't
RPG.
I don't know if I'm the best at defining, but yeah, I think I could see Pokemon being an RPG, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So like Pokemon, Zelda, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, Baldur's Gate.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of like old school PC like isometric RPGs that I like Icewind Dale, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Modern ones like Divinity, Baldur's Gate 3.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
Um,
still have to try
yeah, so
Baldur's Gate.
definitely RPGs.
Okay. Do you have one or a couple that maybe are lesser known that you think are really good and people should look into?
Hmm. Um, Pillars of Eternity is maybe lesser known.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
It's a very good isometric RPG. Also by the same company that did that. There's one called Tyranny, which is very good. But the rest of the like solid ones are like really well known ones like Divinity and
Yeah.
like the
Baldur's
Baldur's Gate
Gate.
series.
Okay.
Uh,
Huh. And what do you think is most compelling about RPGs or games in general that makes you want to play them? Like, what's gonna attract you to a game if you see it on Steam, make you want to put some hours in?
Um, well, I really like fantasy setting and sci-fi settings, so that for sure would entice me. I think with RPGs as a genre, just that kind of freedom to, or a bit more freedom to kind of do what you want and play how you like. You know, like if you play, I don't know, a shooter, I'm not really into shooters anymore, but you
Hmm.
kind of only really have one objective, whereas if you play an RPG, you can be a good guy, you can be a bad guy, you can play passively, you can
Hmm.
like kill everybody you see. You know, there's like so many different ways to like go about the story.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, it just makes it a lot more interesting for me.
Hmm. Did you ever play like the Fable games? I remember playing Fable 3, I think, on the Xbox 360 'cause it was free, and I just played it all night, but that was a really interesting one to me.
I I think I briefly played Fable 3, but I kind of missed out on those games because around about that time I was mega addicted to World of Warcraft. So I think like what's that? It's like 2004 to 2009. That's 5 years.
Hmm.
Literally the only, and I'm not. This is not an exaggeration. Literally the only game I played for 5 years was World of Warcraft.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
I missed out on a lot of stuff during that time.
Well, I've heard World of Warcraft is good, so it's probably worth it because it's still going strong. So it's probably time well spent. But
Oh yeah, it's a great game. Like scarily good.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, you also told me you're a big music guy. So what I guess what genres of music do you like, and does it kind of tie into the gaming at all?
Um, as in like with Koin Games or just gaming in general you're talking about?
Like, do you think you enjoy music that fits the vibe of the games you like too? Like, let's say, fantasy, you got your, I don't know what, like, sorry, this may be a bad question. Let me rethink what I mean. I don't know, I think I like games that are kind of open world and like atmospheric, and sometimes the music I like also is similar to that. It kind of makes me feel like I would be in one of those worlds. So do you think any part of music, or
Mhm.
do you think they're pretty separate and you're just like, rock and that's
I think it's definitely separate for me.
okay.
I like a lot of, especially modern gaming soundtracks have kind of gone along the classical route, like films.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't hate classical music for sure. There's definitely some good classical music, and it can add a lot of atmosphere and emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm just listening to music generally, uh, like I'm pretty open to genre, but rock is definitely my favorite. Um, Rock in general, but also like classic rock and hard rock.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's times when I can like distinctly remember playing like Doom and playing Tomb Raider,
Mm.
and I would just turn the sound off and like have my CD player with like I don't know Nickelback or something playing. I would just
Mm-hmm.
listen to like an entire album while I'm playing a game. So yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Have you ever played music yourself, or do you mostly just listen?
I did when I was in school. I did try to learn how to play piano, kind of very casually, and
Mm-hmm.
it was hard.
Yeah.
So I didn't get very far with that. My dad, when he was a kid, used to play drums, so I had a little bit of like drums when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Also, but when I was like, because I was like rock music when I was 13, I got a guitar. I started playing guitar for a bit. Started on acoustic and then went to electric, and I don't really play anymore. Um, but yeah, for a good like number of years, played guitar and really
Nice.
enjoyed it. And I would say I was like semi decent.
Okay. Yeah. Is that do you think that's the instrument that you would pick if you could just be really good at a music? It's like electric guitar or guitar,
Oh no, I'd pick piano for sure.
piano.
There's
Yeah.
there's like I can really appreciate somebody who's like amazing at piano. It sounds beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, there's like so many like a guitar can be emotional, but I feel like piano's like the peak of musical emotion for me.
Yeah.
It's just amazing when somebody is like really really good at piano.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I think a little bit more versatile. You can, play slow and emotional songs, and obviously you can play fast paced, you can play classical, and you can obviously do some of those things to an extent with a guitar. But yeah, piano's my pick as well. I've got one that I need to work on playing more, but um, yeah, I love the piano and the versatility of it. But what would your favorite albums be in music, or what are your favorite albums? What would you recommend? Maybe obviously you could say some popular ones, but do you have some like deep cuts that you think people should look into?
Albums is a tough one because like everything's on like music apps these days. So
Mm. Or
like
just songs like
listen to bands. Let's do bands
bands.
because
Okay, yeah.
that's a bit easier for me, right?
Okay.
So Queen definitely. They've got a lot of great songs.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just going to name loads of classic rock bands here. I've just realized Queen slash Iron Maiden, Metallica. Um, what are some more modern ones that I really like? In fact, let's cross genre here. Joe Bonamassa. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think I have. No.
He's a really big blues guitarist.
Okay.
So I like a lot of blues music.
Yeah.
Linkin Park,
Okay.
I quite like.
Yeah. They're good.
Rage Against the Machine, also one of my favorite bands of all time.
Hmm.
Uh, Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah, I think that's Led Zeppelin as well. I think that's probably like I don't know how many I named there, but like most of those would be in my top 10
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that genre a little bit has died out. So maybe there is quite a few people who hadn't heard of some of those bands. So it's always nice to go back and look back on the bands and artists that were popular of the time. Because I don't know, for me, I like imagine how many songs I'm missing that are releasing now. Like I'm always finding like new people, and that's obviously true back then too. There's so many artists that created good stuff, and maybe it's lost media, but some of it you can still find, and it's still incredible stuff. So most of those are widely available on Spotify. So yeah, everyone should go check them out if they haven't heard of them. But yeah, how do you think your like musical taste came about? Because I ask because like when growing up, my brothers went through multiple genres. I have older brothers, and I feel like I got my musical taste from them because they would constantly be putting on different stuff, whether it was like Linkin Park when I was younger, or as they got older, they started playing like Metallica and stuff. So I kind of feel like I can appreciate multiple genres because of that. But how do you think yours came about?
Yeah, I definitely, much like I got my gaming habits from my dad, I definitely got my musical taste from my dad. Maybe not so much the like hard rock and metal, but like the classic rock and the blues. My dad used to play a lot of like Eric Clapton and like Bad Company and Free and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff when I was growing up. So yeah, definitely from my dad. Because
Okay.
like if I think back to like before I'd kind of like solidified my favorite musical genre, I used to listen to like dance music. And obviously like pop music because that's what's on the radio,
Hmm.
so and like in the charts and stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was wildly different to what I listen to and enjoy now.
Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the interview here, and I want to ask one more question, which is if you could ask one question to a different Coin Games member, and I'll ask the next person I interview, what would that question be?
Um, I'm going to ask if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Okay, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where to be and why? Cool. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, Fenchurch, and thanks for the games. And I will see you around in the Discord, and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks. I've had a lot of fun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that little interview with Fenchurch. Special thanks to him for being willing to hop on here with me. If you did enjoy and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and like. I'm hoping to do a few more throughout the next couple weeks. Just reaching out to as many members of the Koin Games that I can, and trying to find times where they're able to hop on with me. But like I said, subscribe if you want to see more of that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.